Hello, I just wanted to do a quick little video showing you a couple of things I've been working on for the Precision Baseball, the new baseball game that I've been working on. And this is going to be sort of a basic fielding chart, and it doesn't look very basic, but it's going to be a bit less complex than trying to figure out every part of the fielding play, which is what I'm hoping to do with some of the charts, the fielding charts that I've released before. And it's kind of more like a Sherco type of zone-based field where you're going to have to kind of figure out where the ball is going and trajectory, and then who is going to get it and what play to be made and things like that. So there will be a lot more options with that one as far as like where to go with the ball. This one is a more basic option. This is actually from an APBA style game that I'd abandoned actually quite a bit ago. I won't show you the game necessarily, but it was just these are the uh, these are the cards. The cards are just kind of numbers based, that type of thing. So it was a little bit more, a little bit less sabermetric, I guess, and just kind of a more straightforward type of game. And also, you can see some of these. These are like the older versions, but okay, let me just walk through this a little bit. So each of these has, these are your uh, base running situations. So runner on first and second, runner on third, first and third, second, third, bases loaded. So these are your, um, well, don't do that. These are your 8 base out situations. So when you're looking at a number like RE24, that's going to be, the base out situations that you're using. I'll need to add in nobody on as well, so it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 7 now, and then I have one more. But essentially, that's going to be, make the throw to first. So it's not going to be very difficult to add that in. But you can see these are ground balls, and the infield is at normal depth. I also had created one for an infield in, so I created an infield in chart. And then I had also gone through and done a flyout chart as well, which you can see, it's either no advance with the blanks, or you can tag up on your own, or there's some automatic kind of tagging going on as well. So these are what I want to use for more of a basic type of fielding situation. What I've done is I've gone through, and originally it was a 2d6 game, and so that was how I had originally created it. But I went in and I created these equivalents for a D10 and a 2d10s and a 3d10s. 3d10s is what we're going to use for precision baseball, so that definitely needed to be in there. But I also did it for 2d10s just in case you wanted to take this. This can be used with any game, and maybe the game that you're using doesn't have a very sophisticated system for figuring out where the ball goes or what happens when the ball gets, it just is a ground out or something. And maybe you want a few more options to field. And so, I've just done the equivalents here, and I figured out the percentages here, and then tried to make equivalents with the D10 and D20. So basically, you would add 2 D10s together, and then this one would be 3 D10s, which is not added together. It would be um, the first number is the hundreds place, second is the tens place, third is the ones place. So you would read it sort of like if you were playing something like, say, season ticket. You would sort of read the numbers red, white, and blue, that type of thing. So you could use this with that type of game, and you see lots of symbols here. The asterisk means that it's a fielder's choice, and so with less than 2 outs, the run scores. If there's a little house top, then carrot is what it's called. If if there are 2 outs, then you're going to use the value that's in parentheses, or the play, I guess it's in parentheses. So instead of, um, a man at first base and 2 outs, if it's a ground ball in front of the plate to the catcher, there's no need to try for a double play. So you just throw it to first and get the out, right? So that's sort of the idea there. And then one, each of these arrows means who's advancing. So this will be a 2-3 put out to first. And we're going to get the batter at first, but there was a runner on first and second. So the runner at second advances, the runner at first advances. So you got two of those. If there's a backwards arrow, that means there's no advance. So with a runner at third base and a tapper out in front of the plate, as long as there's less than 2 outs, then there's going to be no advancement from the runner at third. On this play, that is not the right one to do. On this play, there is a runner at second and third. You can see here that was pulled in from somewhere else. Let's go to one that I did. I already finished this one, so this is a better one to do. So 6-4 with a runner at first base. That's going to be a fielder's choice to second base, and the runner at going from first to second is going to be out. With a roll here, either 2 1s on a 2d6 roll or a 1 to 30. So that's 30 out of 1,000. So that's like, what is that? 0.003%. 0.03%. 0.03%, I believe. And so that's going to be everybody's safe. So the ball is hit to the shortstop. He has to just put it in his back pocket. Everybody's safe. So then you're going to have runners at first and second and no out recorded. So that's kind of where the all safe comes in. You can see that they're at these sort of extremes where there aren't very many opportunities. You know, there's a 19 out of 1,000 here, 30 out of 1,000. What was that? 69 out of 1,000 for the all safe here in these base out situations. So it's not going to happen very often that happens, but sometimes it is. You know, a ball gets hit into the hole and the fielder just has to hold on to it. He makes the catch, but he's not going to throw it anywhere. So you got a 6-4 fielder's choice, and so that runner is going to not advance to second because the play is to second base, so shortstop to the second baseman. In this one, though, it's maybe a soft grounder to short, and the runner behind the play advances to third, so you can see the advancement there. So he goes second to third. You get the runner at first, but that's going to be an advancement of the runner. And on this one, the same play, but we had runners at first and second, so both of those runners will advance, and you get the batter out at first. So with 2 outs, obviously that's going to end the inning, but with less than 2 outs, both runners are going to advance. You'll wind up with one more out, but you're going to be in a second and third situation at that point. Here, it's a 6-3 put out, so with the infield back or at normal depth, then you're going to make the out at first base and you're going to give up that run. So that's what the asterisk means. This runner at third is going to score, or it'll be an all safe. You know, you make the play, but the runner scores, and then the batter's safe at first. It gets a little bit more complex with the double plays. So we have a runner at first and third, and so this is going to be a 6-4 double play attempt. That's what the question mark means. And you see those occasionally in different places. So that just means that you need to do a runner advancement or a double play check. So there's going to be a mechanism for a double play check. There's actually a double play number on each of the player cards, which I don't have those pulled up, but there will be a double play number on there, and then using that number, you'll roll against the opportunity. If the hitter hits into a double play, then that's going to trigger the double play here, and it would be 6-4-3, obviously. If there are, the little house top means if there are 2 outs, then use this play in the parentheses. With 2 outs, there's no need to go try a double play. So sometimes the play is to second base, sometimes it's to first base. And if there are less than 2 outs, then whether it's a fielder's, well, if it's a double play with 1 out, obviously that ends the inning. If it's a double play or a fielder's choice with nobody out, then that runner from third is going to score. So they try to double them up at second, but couldn't turn the double play for whatever reason. So if you can't turn the double play, the run scores. If there's nobody out and you turn a double play second to first, the run is going to score as well. And so that's the on a fielder's choice, then the runner. I don't think that needs a runner advancement, but I'll have to go back and look at that. With runners at second and third, if the play is to first base, the runner is going to score, and the runner at second is going to go to third. On a 6-4, which is shortstop going to the second baseman, which that's not going to happen in a second and third situation, so that should change as well. So I just got to kind of walk through each of these and think in my mind like what would happen on the field. So that's basically what I'm doing. And then, you're making that would be here. So it would be a run scored and a runner advanced, right? Second and third. So this guy scores, this guy goes to third, you get the out at first base. So just thinking through a lot of these types of plays, there's some kind of funky ones in here. So thinking about runners at second and third. And the shortstop, maybe he looks back the runner at third, makes the throw to first, but then the runner breaks for home. So now we need to do a first base to catcher runner advancement to see if that runner scores going home. And same thing here. So looks back the runner at third, and then let's say the first baseman, that might need a score here. So then the play is made at first base, runner breaks for home to score, and then there's a play 3-5, so the runner at second breaks for third. In this instance, it's not clear. Well, the runner at second doesn't break because there's no arrow, right? But here, the runner breaks for third base, so we get a first to third, and then we got to see if that runner gets thrown out at third base. A very uncommon type of play, so it's sort of down here at the bottom. This one would be 6-5, and so the runner breaks in front of the shortstop from second. The runner at third is going to score, but then you get the out. You get the fielder's choice at third base, so it cuts down that guy going from second to third. So there's lots of interesting little situations in here. So I finished the pitchers. So we have lots of interesting pitcher situations here where you're trying to go home to first on the double play. And trying to make that attempt there. One unassisted, so sometimes it's hit down the first base line. The pitcher grabs it and then runs it over to first base himself. So there's a couple of unassisteds in here. There's another one somewhere. I don't remember where it is, but I think there's another one. So we have some interesting plays, especially down when you get into these situations here. So like a 1-5, runner breaks for second and gets thrown out by the pitcher going to third base. So that does happen sometimes, and the batter would be safe. So just trying to think through all the different types of situations. What would be the more common ones? Obviously, you're trying to turn a double play here. That's a common thing with runners. In a double play situation, you're going to get a lot of double play opportunities from the shortstop and from the second baseman both. I haven't finished out the second baseman, so... but I just wanted to be able to show this. There will also be I don't know if I have it. I don't think I have it here, but I do have a chart as well that will let you know like which fielder gets the ball. So that would be basically what you roll first. So you would roll to see which fielder gets the ball, and then once you get the fielder, then you can look at the situation here and see, if it's hit to the shortstop, then you check the base out situation, you roll against it, and then you basically are just cross-referencing in that. And then if there's anything special that needs to happen as far as checks or anything like that, if it just says 6-4-3 double play, that's just a double play, right? It's just straight up. And then if it has the question mark, then you have to roll for the double play. And then the batter's double play number, along with the fielder's double play rating, is going to be able to determine that as well. So there'll be a chart there which says automatic double play from the batter's side, or it'll say possible double play, check the fielder to see, and then you roll against the fielder. So it's going to be quite a bit more complex once you get into that type of situation. But it's kind of a complex situation anyway. You could just roll it up as a double play if you didn't want to deal with all that. So just wanted to show you what I've been working on as far as the what's it called? Fielding is concerned. That's what it's called. It's called fielding. And this is going to sort of permeate through ground balls. This is with the infield at normal depth. This is with infield in. So there'll be some definite situations where you'd want to play the infield in. And it's not as extensive, obviously, because you're really talking about only the situations with the runner at third. You wouldn't play the infield in with nobody out. So these situations get scaled down quite a bit. And then you have fly balls as well. And then what do you do with fly balls? This would be just normal fly balls. And then this is not necessarily accounting for the outfielder's range or anything like that. It just goes to the outfielder. And then what do you do with player advancement? So basically, there's no advance. There's the runner's choice. So you can use the extra base or the tag up chart in order to figure out did they make it or not based off of their speed. This means that you can tag, but only on a deep fly ball. If there's no deep fly ball, then you're not able to tag. And then the X1 and X2, which you see here, times 1, times 2. That means times 1 would be the lead runner, times 2 would be the lead runner and the one behind him. So there would be certain tag-up situations where both could be done. There are certain tag-up situations where, X1 would be basically the lead runner. And maybe I just need to change those to L and T, like maybe lead and trailing runner, something like that. So there's some interesting situations here, especially as you get down into some of these situations down here, which are a little bit less common. And thinking about where the ball is hit, right? So there are a lot more tag up situations for when the ball is hit to center field and right field than there are to left field, obviously, because in left field you're only going to get an opportunity really to tag up maybe first to second if you have kind of some speed, but definitely, third to home is going to be a tag up situation. In center field, you're going to get a chance to tag from second to third, third to home, and then right, and occasionally from center field to from first to second base if you have a fast guy. And then in right field, you're going to get the opportunity probably never to tag up from first to second, but second to third and third to home. So there's lots of different types of situations where you might tag up. So just kind of, again, like rolling it through my mind, thinking about real plays. Sometimes I just go back and look at videos and say, what are these tag up situations, and how can I represent those in the game so that it has a lot of variety, but is still, relatively realistic as well. And obviously these rolls here, these are going to be your most common rolls through the middle, and especially 7, 6, 7, and 8 are going to be when you're rolling 2d10, 6, 7, and 8. You're rolling and combining these two, right? Like a 1 and a 1 is a 2, so you're adding them together. A 2 and a 1, a 1 and a 2, etc. So whenever you roll these numbers, because there are more combinations that make these numbers than anything else, these are going to be your most common. So also just trying to think about, what are the most common things that are going to happen. And then these are your very uncommon types of things that are going to happen on the edges. So it's kind of a cool dynamic that when you're making a game like this, that you get to think about what is reality, what is possible, what might make the game a little bit more fun if I give some more leeway here. Because if you just tell everybody what to do all the time, it makes it easy to play the game, but you kind of feel like you're just watching it, which I know some people like. But some people want to have a little bit more, especially in base running, they want to have a little bit more flexibility as to what they can do. So giving them that opportunity a little more often to tag in the middle, which you see a lot more opportunities just to tag up, and most of those are in the middle. Obviously, these things with the deep fly out first, and then some of these are just an automatic tag on everything. So that's an automatic tag, and tagging. This is a tag and a score, so it's an automatic one, and there are a few of those where it's just gonna kind of be you tag up, you score. There's nothing else to do. But if there's a tag up with a question mark, then you would need to see did the runner get thrown out at home, which there will be an outfield arm rating just for outfielders that you'll be able to, again, look up against a chart. You're going to have to make maybe a little calculation between the runner's speed and the player's arm, and then you'll look on a chart to see and roll against that. And obviously, the slower the runner, the better the arm, the better the opportunity to throw them out at home is what it's going to be. But the faster the runner, the worse the arm. That's going to change the dynamic a little bit. And I don't have those charts fully set up or anything like that. This is quite a bit more complex in terms of a game. Probably the most complex game that I've ever made because there's so many moving parts, and I'm really trying to provide both a basic type of game using some basic values and metrics, but also dig a little deeper and break those metrics out a little bit, like base running. So I have a general base running number, but then if you want to break it out into stolen bases, you want to break it out into double plays, you want to break it out into just general like first to third type base running, then you can do that. Or you can mix and match and only use the breakout base running ones if you want to, or for this, you'll be able to use, so if you need to do a tag up check to see if the runner made it, you can use that general base running number, or you can use the actual run number for the player, which is not for stolen bases, it's not for grounding into double plays, it's just for running the bases, so tag ups, taking extra bases. And you want to use that number, you can use the general base running number. Just know that that number includes things like stolen bases and stuff like that. So if he's not a good stolen base guy, but he's really good on the base paths, I'm thinking of someone like a Freddie Freeman, who's way better at base running than he is stealing bases. He's going to have a higher base, just a general base running number. He's going to have a higher run number. That's what I'm calling it, run as opposed to BSR, which is base running. So he's going to have a higher run number than he is a base running number, and that's going to affect the way that that the play is done. So, excuse me, if you want to have a little bit more granularity, you'll be able to choose, because it's all going to be laid out on the chart there, and it'll be very easy to see on each batter card kind of what the breakdown is for each of those different fielding or base running plays or whatever you're trying to do. And you'll be able to find a comfort level for yourself. You know, what do I want? What kind of granularity do I want there to be able to use? And so you'll settle in to something, and I have no doubt that the game will be accurate enough for you, because I'm using real values and metrics. A lot of them sabermetric values that I'm just not giving you the sabermetric name. Giving you a little bit more plain speak, like run or double play or whatever. But just know that behind those numbers is an actual sabermetric number that's been that I brought in from Fangraphs. So hopefully the game will play well and play smoothly. And if you just want to kick back and watch things happen, you can do that. And then if you want more interaction, there will be more opportunities for interaction as well. So again, it'll be ground ball, and then I'd like to do like maybe I think fly ball outs. This should really just say fly balls. So have to think about doing outfield in kind of things on the chart. The big chart with lots of different options, and you have to figure out the play. You're going to be able to actually move the players around, so you can put them into a defensive shift left or right, or There will be six positions from left field line to right field line. And sorry, I don't have that up right now, but there'll be six positions, and you'll be able to shift them left or right. Both the infield and the outfield will have those shift positions. You'd even be able to place your pitcher in a particular, do you want them to the left or to the right, so that you can sort of get to balls one way or the other, based on the hitter who's coming up. So, or even based on, I guess for pitchers, maybe it would be best to base that on whether he's a left-hand pitcher or right-hand pitcher. So a lefty's going to fall to the right, a right-hander's going to fall to the left of the mound and not be able to get back to his right very easily. So maybe that'll be a good way. I'm just thinking about that on the fly now. But that's where I'm going with the fielding for this. And again, this is the only chart that's really halfway up and going. But I did go through and sort of normalize these for each of the different types of roles maybe that you would have. So this, again, we'll be using the 3D10s for precision baseball. That's what's going to be red, white, and blue, or whatever colors you want for the dice. You'll just have 1 hundreds, 1 tens, and 1 ones place, and then you'll just make that happen. All right. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section below. The game is moving along, just kind of kicking at it whenever I can, and trying to think through all the different things. It's a bit like building a house. I have the foundation now, and it's a bit like building a wall and then going somewhere else and building a roof, and then you're going to try to bring these things together. So it's a little bit complex and complicated, and I do one move and it changes other things. So it'll get there in the end. I have some good ideas. I have an idea in my head of where I want to go, and I'm bringing in some pieces like this that are from other games that are just kind of left undone, or ideas that I had that didn't work out. And I can maybe bring those games in or bring those ideas. This whole chart here was just like lifted and brought in. In fact, I didn't even lift it. I just went right into the game. And I'm just going to lift this into the other spreadsheet that I have for the game. And that will, maybe this game, here actually become something in the future, and then I can use it with that game too, but it'll be fully completed at that point. So that's kind of how I work. I have like little bits and pieces, and sometimes it doesn't work for one game, but it works for another. So I try to think about, just kind of keeping those fragments around, and when they come to mind, I'll pull them into whatever I'm working on to see if they work. Same thing with the sort of advanced fielding. I've been trying to do that in multiple games for a couple of years now, and just hasn't worked out, so I hope this time it will. And that I've learned some things, or maybe just the mechanics of this game just work better with that type of game. The dice that I have that I want to use as the main dice, and not have to bring something in, that type of thing. All right, I think that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe. The Clark and Addison Gaming Company is in existence. It's going, and the football game, No Huddle Football, will be the first sort of official release, and then this one would probably be the second, as long as I can get it done. But I'll be porting over a lot of the older games so that you can purchase them at clarkandaddisongaming.com. And then there will be a YouTube channel. I think I'm going to transfer everything, just switch this on-base channel over to the Clark and Addison Gaming Company, but it's actually got its own little setup because I have a Gmail account with it, but we'll see how that all works out. But as far as I know, I'll just be switching over the on-base baseball YouTube channel to the Clark and Addison Gaming Company, and that'll just be the umbrella organization that holds all of these different games and brands that I've been creating. So it should be easier for discovery of all the games I've done, because I've got multiple sports now going and also multiple games. So maybe some people know about one game, but they don't know about all the other games that I've made. So hopefully that's going to help with discovery a little bit, which is like one of my main goals. Plus, management of all these games is becoming a little unwieldy when each one has its own separate site, and thinking about sales and stuff like that. It's just I have to go to each one if I want to do like a holistic sale. over all my games. So it's going to be quite a bit easier to just manage everything in one place. So more of an administrative move, but also for the general public, I can just say go here to this one website and you'll be able to find everything. So it's going to be a work in progress as I go along, and hopefully the site will be able to be organized in a way that makes sense. And I think I have some good ideas for that as well. All right, that's it. If you have any questions or comments about this particular system, or something you are thinking about, or maybe a suggestion that you have that might make it even better, um, just let me know in the comments. Super excited about this game. I think it's going to be a good entry into the baseball game market. And I already have the 2022 cards, the data all laid out, and the cards are laid out. So when I make changes, I have to go back through and do that for all of them. And so those are sort of a work in progress. But you can keep up with that progress in the sports. Uh, I think it's called Sports Replays and Simulations Facebook group, and a pretty big group there of a few thousand people that I typically have been posting any updates to, and also here at the YouTube channel as well. All right, I think that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.